if you're watching this and you saw the title of this video and you're going to comment something like, "Oh, you're just mad because you disagree with them," no, here's the thing: a lot of my opinions actually align with the general consensus of what a lot of cartoon critics have to say. Like, "Oh wow, Has-Been Hotel isn't that amazing? Oh wow." Studio Ghibli films are masterpieces. Like, yeah, I have very generic opinions too. The difference is that I don't really make a giant big deal about it, and I think that's my biggest issue with a lot of cartoon critics. First of all, a lot of them had this really crappy PNG avatar that I just don't like, and they all look the exact same, like that same soft art style, whatever it's called. It just looks so generic. And a lot of these cartoon critics on YouTube, they put themselves on a high pedestal, and then when they go and make a animation themselves, it usually sucks ass. um, but yeah, that's what I think. That's my biggest issue with a lot of cartoon critics is that they put their opinions on such a high pedestal, and worst of all, most of them aren't even really funny or interesting. Which I know is pot calling and kettle black here, but to be fair, YouTube isn't my job. I just do this to vent and shit post. The only cartoon critics I like are Steve Reviews and Rebel Taxi. And you know what separates Steve Reviews and Rebel Taxi from other cartoon critics is that they're actually funny. Like Saber Spark, he's not funny. He is boring as fuck. Always just giving off these baby tier opinions like, "Ooh, a Ralph Bashki movie has boobies in it. Ooh, this is so weird and furry." And I'm like, "Yeah, adult animated films have nudity." And I'm like, welcome to film, buddy. Like, oh man, Saber Spark is just super boring, and he's really popular for some reason. I don't really get it. Then there's like Mysterious Mr. Enter, who has basically lost relevancy over time because a lot of people got tired of his bullcrap. I remember he tried to make a cartoon pilot and wanted $300,000, and that was insane. And he didn't even have like any animation to show off or anything. No, what he showed off in the advertisement was a bunch of still images, and he wanted people to fund his cartoon. Like, "Hey, bro, you can trust me. Give me $300,000. Give me your hard-earned working money," which, by the way, Mr. Enter, I'm pretty sure that dude lives off a disability when he's not, e-begging online from Patreon donations. But yeah, he was infamous for going on these really stupid tangents about how baby cartoons are like ruining the entire world or something like that, and it was really funny. I actually used to be a fan of Mr. Enter until I realized just how much he sucked. And then there's that other cartoon critic, Cosmodore, who had potential. I mean, his reviews weren't really that interesting, but he had potential to be like another Rebel Taxi. But then it turns out that the dude was basically a pedophile and got canceled off the internet. Yeah, that happened like almost a decade ago, and it's still funny seeing Cosmodore pop up on other people's reviews, that are outdated. Like, it's just so gross now. Um, Ellis Mark, I don't know, man. I think he's just way too pretentious. And honestly, his whole ranking every episode of a show series is really fucking stupid. You see, the problem with those type of videos is that since he has to binge watch a show and watch and react to every episode, they're not really reviews; they're more like reactions. And it's also very embarrassing, to hear him miss the joke of certain shows because of, oh, he's not American, he wouldn't get the joke of the show. Like, oh goodness, I don't want to run him over. Like, like, uh, like when he reviewed every South Park episode and he missed a joke of several episodes, or missed the point because he just doesn't understand. Not to mention that, ironically, despite being a cartoon critic, the pilot that he made himself, wasn't that great. It sucked. Um, but yeah, Ellis Mark, just very pretentious, has that lame PNG art style. You know, uh, Goodness gracious. Oh man, then there's what was that other YouTube? Just Stop. So I remember this one incident where Just Stop basically stalked and got into Ellis Mark's relationship with some woman and then made a video about it, you know. And what was and oh god, they're gonna blow up my car. What was the and it made me wonder like what was the purpose of that video? Because it seemed like the video's purpose was to, you know, gain clout instead of, you know, actually helping out Ellis Mark with whatever. Oh, Jesus. What the way you stupid. Oh, God. Oh, man. I didn't want to shoot D-Dog. I mean, he's fine, but that's not a good feeling. But yeah, he made this weird long video with some other bread tuber, and they exposed Ellis Mark's questionable relationship status. I'm like, bro, this isn't that ain't any of your business. Like Ellis Mark it might be your quote unquote friend. I mean, you probably only interacted with him online, but Jesus Christ. And it's important to not forget stuff like that because it really just, you know, it really does remind you that, hey, these people aren't really the most trustworthy individuals out there, you know. A lot of them are disingenuous and, you know, they claim to be on this moral high horse, but then, you know, they're not really on a moral high horse, and my vehicle did get destroyed. Awesome. This is a disaster. They didn't even destroy the enemy's truck, man. I'm trying to avoid killing people in this game. But Ellis, but what another thing, but really another problem with Just Stop's reviews is that they're boring. He used to get into YouTube drama, and I remember he defended some people from this other YouTuber named Prison Mate Luke, and it didn't work out that well because it turns out Luke was right, and the people that Luke was criticizing ended up being horrible people, like this person named Hopeless Peaches. So that was stuff like that was stuff from like years ago. Still though, I still think it's important to remember these incidents because you know these people they try to they try to delete their videos, and you know people aren't just gonna just casually forget. It's the internet, man. But yeah, but my biggest problem with Just Stop is that not only is he boring, but he just has shit taste in media. I mean, Jesus Christ, making an overly long video defending Fairy Tale. Like, look, Fairy Tale is gooner bait, borderline pedophilia with how the mangaka draws Wendy in these lewd scenes and whatnot, and how the Arthur always sexualizes not sexualizes Wendy, but the character Lucy. Like I swear, every situation involving Lucy and Fairy Tale always ends up with her being in bondage or something like that. And look, there's nothing wrong with that, but if you want me to think that Fairy Tale is like a good story or something, you are out of your mind. You need to go watch better animes. Like everybody knows how infamous Mysterious Mr. Enter is. Everybody knows how oh yeah, that's another thing about Mr. Enter. Like since nobody really watches his cartoon reviews anymore, he now has to jump on a YouTube drama train with this other YouTuber who's also autistic and trans or whatever. Like that's how low Mr. Enter has gotten. It's gotten to the point where nobody really wants to watch his cartoon reviews. No, he has to get involved with internet drama, and then he has to e-beg online because, oh no, he has dental problems because he can't take care of his freaking teeth because he's an autistic man-child who reviews baby cartoons. And now, oh no, the baby cartoon reviewing genre has gotten old, so now I gotta jump into the YouTube drama slop. And yeah, man, it's interesting seeing Mr. Enter try to remain relevant online instead of just, you know, working on something else. Oh yeah, and what's also funny is that the cartoon that he tried to do a pilot for, he actually, I remember last time I watched him, he said he lost the rights to the pilot. And you might be wondering, why are you watching Mr. Enter if you don't like him? Well, I like checking up on YouTubers that I dislike just to see how they're doing. And a lot of the times, like, I want to say about 7 out of 10, that YouTuber is going through some sort of YouTube drama or going through some sort of terminally online type of hell. And, you know, I feel like it's funny and interesting. Like YMS, for example. YMS recently is going through that as well. He blocked me about a year ago, and it's really satisfying seeing this pretentious YouTube critic, get exposed for being a zoophile or whatever it's called. I like it, no sympathy at all. But yeah, man. Let's see. What are some other issues with cartoon critics? Let's see. They have a boring PNG avatar. They put their opinions on very hot on a very what's the word I'm looking for, on a very high ground, which comes off as very pretentious. They get mad at baby cartoons. Oh goodness, a lot of them are left leaning. Now, I'm a left leaning person myself. For them, well, I would say I would say I'm 60% left, 40% right. But even then, I gotta say a lot of these left leaning YouTubers are very annoying because they gotta insert their politics into the cartoon review, or they gotta try to make something out to be deeper than what it actually is. So let's see. Are there any other cartoon critics that I used to watch? No, not really. And that's why I like Rebel Taxi, because even when Rebel Taxi has an opinion that I disagree with, he doesn't put his opinion on such a, he doesn't put it on a soapbox, and he's actually funny and talented, unlike 90% of cartoon critics. Back then, the big thing to do was to hate on Teen Titans Go, Steven Universe, or the 2016 Powerpuff Girls. Nowadays, the big thing is to hate on Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss, which, from what I've seen, I mean, they're not the worst shows ever. I don't really get why. I don't really get the beef that so many cartoon critics have with Hell of a Boss and Hazbin Hotel. Like, instead of appreciating the fact that an independent animator managed to become successful on YouTube, which is really hard because YouTube screws over cartoon critics, they choose to try and bring down the creator of Vizzy Pop because, oh no, her cartoon is not a perfect 10 out of 10 masterpiece. Like, oh no, her cartoon isn't like Spirited Away or the best Pixar film. Like, no shit. It's it's an edgy cartoon. It's not really that big of a deal. I mean, like, I mostly watch Hell of a Boss, and from what I've seen of it, it's not the best thing ever, but a lot of cartoon critics love to milk hating on Hell of a Boss and Hazbin Hotel, because that's the only way they can get views, is hating on this show that's really popular. And one thing I do like about Vizzy is that from what I've seen, Vizzy doesn't really listen to her critics, and she doesn't have to. She doesn't, because if you like doing something and it's not illegal, do what you want with it. I mean, it's your show. You can pretty much write how you want it to be. It's like that speech that Blackbeard gives to Luffy in One Piece during the Skypiea arc, where everybody's hating on Luffy and everybody doubts Luffy, and then Blackbeard basically tells Luffy to keep going on. And I feel like that sort of resonates with Vizzy Pops. Like, I don't really care about her channel or nothing like that, but who cares if she makes a bad episode of Hazbin Hotel or Hell of a Boss? Like, a lot of these cartoon critics, objectively speaking, couldn't do any better. And a common argument that people like to use as well, do you gotta be a professional chef to say that food tastes bad? No, stupid. See, making food and making a cartoon are two totally different things. Like, any retard can make food, but not everyone has the capabilities to make a cartoon, let alone a popular, successful cartoon.